Hello, everyone. Here we are once again for the second time. Hopefully, less problems will happen. So we left off on Toho, and if you missed it, Aground was the pick of the game. The game we found that was kind of interesting yesterday. But here we go. I'm eating peanuts that are covered in habanero sauce. Or not sauce, but habanero. Never had it before. So that's about 26 games, but we won't get through it if we only pick 26, so we actually have to do some extra now. Which I guess, like I think I might, yesterday I might have been muted when I was explaining, but yeah, I just, this whole stream is just what I do during lunch. Because I used to just do this on my own, but I was like, yeah, might as well stream this. But if anyone's here, make sure to say whether the stream's going in the live chat. Let me know how it's doing. Jetpack guy, this looks like shit. This will probably be shit. Yep. It's a match 4 kind of game, whatever. Another puzzle game. Well, there's a lot of puzzle games that never really go anywhere on Steam. Oh, and in case anyone's wondering, this is another puzzle. The reason I go from the bottom and like go up is because at the bottom it's these are the games that have less reviews, and as you go up they have more reviews. So the ones at the top are the ones with everything. Then but I like to go from bottom up so that it's like, okay, there's only one way to go. Like it's only up from here. Whereas if I go downwards, it's like, okay, the next game is going to be worse. But like you saw yesterday, like I didn't pick the top game. I picked like the second top game. So it's not even really. Back it up, baby. So the whole point of this exercise is that even really unpopular games can actually be good, but they just never got discovered, and that's what we're doing here. The other thing to know is that 98% of games released on Steam are bad. So yeah, there's a reason people don't do this. A lot of it just looks the same. Some of you may be like, oh, like that game might have been interesting by this stuff that I'm clicking through. But after you've done this for like a couple of years, you get an eye for like, okay, that's just like every other game that I've seen that's like it. Where it's like, you just didn't show me anything interesting. Sorry. So yeah, this is a that boss is actually a player, so they kill the boss, and then whoever kills him becomes the new boss. This actually has been done better in a game that was called Crawl. This is probably this is like one of the best games I've ever played. And the way this works is it's a dungeon crawler.
And madness are not free to die, but human meat.
Where
You father blood.
this is more of a flavor trailer.
You will bark beneath the
There we go.
flesh that must be
But this is like one of the best party games you'll ever find,
mechanisms
because it's just
my command, and where the floor was etched with arcane symbols, I could rise
running around and like fighting each other and then killing each other and becoming the ghosts that haunt everything else, becoming the enemies. So if you want like an asymmetric party game, like all those monsters are all those monsters are players. They're all trying to kill the active player like that, and then they'll become the new player.
We lost it, or we took it and we fled. Hole in the air, a gateway to the real world above.
And then you have to fight a boss at the end, and all the dead players get to play as the boss. It's a really fun game. If you want to see that, see that concept of asymmetric, like kill the other player to take over as the boss kind of thing done well. That's just play Crawl. This looks bad. There's also a lot of bad card games. So yeah, this is another ironic, dude, it's the internet, it's weed, it's so funny games, which I pointed out yesterday. And like, this is just a whole genre that just goes on Steam where people are like, wouldn't it be so funny if? And it's like, nah, it's never funny. You actually have to put effort into a game in order to make it like funny. Like the mere concept of weed existing or low effort videos existing is not like enough to make a game funny. Oh yeah, what we're going through right now is the early stages where COVID was happening. So we're just getting into all the COVID simulator games. So we're gonna have to be putting up with those for a while.
How did I end up in this?
So they got a lot of cool backgrounds, but that's a thing. Like the actual animation isn't very good, and that's just that's a thing that we're going to be seeing a ton of. This is probably interesting for other people who actually play these games online. This might be interesting. Interesting concept. Doesn't look very interesting though. This is just a Slender clone. Find 8 items in the facility. This actually, graphically, this actually looks okay. Looks a little better than usual. These games usually do. But that's a huge. There wasn't really a survival horror boom once the indie games popped off, but there was a horror boom where it's just you're alone in an area with and they don't have to animate the player moving at all. They just have to animate a monster, and if you animate a monster poorly, it still looks scary. So that just became a huge. That's like every horror game. It's like 90% of indie horror. Oh, got another open world survival craft. A lot of those too. Action RPG. The backgrounds. It's really funny. Like the backgrounds in this aren't very good, but like the characters' animations are like fun. It's always so interesting how different games just get the exact opposite things wrong. That's interesting. It's like Breakout, but in 360 dimensions. I thought this was 11 prophecies, and I thought, no, it's got to be Elven prophecies. And I checked again, and it was, no, it's 11 prophecies. 10 just wasn't enough. And 12 was too many. This looks like it has potential. What's funny is old like NES games did look like this, like they did look as bad as this, but throwbacks generally don't. They look more like The Messenger or Shovel Knight, where it's like everything's like perfectly made. This, however, does, like, the gameplay looks pretty good. Looks like it's like every 2D platformer game, action platformer on the NES. Let's check what the reviews are like. There's one review. Holy shit. No, there isn't. Well, you know what? I'll check this out eventually. Hey, if you want to see me play this game, I I got a goal up here. If I make it to 100, I can actually start like buying and playing some of these. I know this has a demo, but that's not the point. But I'm keeping track of these. I have like, I think I got, oh yeah, I have over 1,000 games on my wish list now. Of just me keeping track of stuff. This looks like Minecraft, but 3D, and Warcraft. World of Warcraft. It's very, oh, it's also first. This is just Minecraft, that's all it is. This is literally just Minecraft. But the character models look more like Warcraft. I thought I was thinking about Warcraft the other day, and I just got really, really depressed because how good Warcraft 3 was. I was like, man, that game was so good, and like these characters were well voice acted, and it looked like it still like holds up. It looks visually interesting, and then I remembered like everything that happened after Warcraft 3, and I'm like, oh. This game, you can tell by from the animations, it has a really good game feel. Like, look at like the screen when he hits the ground. Like, look at the screen shake. That actually makes it feel more satisfying to hit things when you add a little screen shake on hit. This is actually the game feel on this, even though it's just these simple objects, look like it makes it look really fun to play. Like they put a lot of effort into making this look like making this feel good, is from what I can tell. If it was a little more interesting to look at, or like something more, there's like a little more engagement to it, then I would actually be interested in playing this. But I'm not. I think I'm gonna have to pass on it. It's like if it's just level based things like this. If there was like, I don't know, something else, something more to it. Yeah. Well, we'll save that as something other people might like to play. However, what's interesting is in terms of survival horror, for 2D games, like top-down games, that's actually where survival horror lives now for independent games. In stuff like this, because it's usually designers and like writers who aren't good at modeling, but hey, like they can figure out how to design a game, and they just, but like they can't get anything else right, so they do it in a top down like this. That's what Darkwood is. Darkwood's another great survival horror game, and like even you could even extract that to like Signalis is basically a top down game like this, but it has a production value pushed into it. And Fear and Hunger is the ultimate example of like, especially Fear and Hunger 1. It's like that guy just knew how to make stuff scary. Yeah, and it's janky and broken as fuck, but man, it's still good. This looks sort of interesting. Like, it's got the vibe right, it's got the music, it's got the like creepy tone. I don't know what this is. I guess the developer must have deleted it. These like reviews or something, I don't know. They were positive. That's weird. Maybe not my language. What the fuck? That is my language. It's Anglush. It's experimental, a nice experience by it. So yeah, this looks kind of interesting. If you're digging at the bottom of the barrel for horror, oh, it's because this is a Chinese. For horror games, this might be a good one. I'm not gonna like keep it around though. Demon Blast. This looks like this kind of looks like the first-person shooter equivalent of that tower defense game that looks like this. Something Kingdoms. 7 types of weapons. Oh, it's funny how they jib. Unfortunately, we're in kind of like a retro FPS glut at the moment, so I can't really say that this looks like it's worth playing. Like, they don't even have like good sound effects, feedback on the weapons and enemies. I do really like how it looks though. Yeah. If this is your thing, if you want to play an FPS, this looks okay. But I like something with a little more better game feel to it. I want the weapons to feel good to fire. I was just watching a Let's Play of Wolfenstein: The Old Blood, and man, that game is it feels so good to play. Like, enemies like explode into gore when you shoot them, and it's like localized, and you blow arms and heads off. It's so cool. It's like that's such a the Wolfenstein: Old Blood and New Order are so underrated. So this is like Space Invaders, but they added the kind of like went a little harder on it. Well, I got boss fights. This actually looks pretty good. I'm not sure I would play it, but this does look pretty good. It's kind of giving me a Star Fox 64 kind of vibe for some reason. Oh, this deserves way more than 66 reviews. Simple but fun. Yeah, this is kind of the reason I wouldn't go after it. Like, it's not like complex enough for me to be like, yeah. It's like you need to be like, if you were doing this game, you'd have to make it like Metal Slug levels of animation for me to be like, oh man, I'll play it even if it's just level based. But yeah, this looks interesting. For someone else, not for me. Yeah, everyone's settling in this visual novels type game. I always look at these and I'm like, God damn it, why can't I just make one of these and not make good games and be happy? But then I see stuff like this, and it's like, man, games are so cool. So this is fun. This is interesting. This is not bad graphics. This is they're picking a very low, like, primitive style for these things. Like, you can tell from how they're animated.
Are you tired of winning at everything all the time? Do your
Don't do this. If you do a trailer, don't do a voiceover if you're not a professional voice actor.
Game for you.
Get a professional voice actor to do that.
Or epic.
Pay them $10 to record some lines.
I beat you so bad. That was no luck. I'm good.
Like, don't do that. It has a very interesting look, but there's nothing like to this game. It's probably like their like first game, which is fine. Like that's what you should do. You shouldn't try to make your magnum opus on your first try. Man, I want AAA games to bring back vehicle combat as a thing. Where did that genre go? This is one of those things where I look at it, I'm like, this is gonna suck, I don't want to look at it, but it's just good enough that I'm like, I have to check what it actually looks like. See, they hired someone who actually knows how to do a trailer for this, which is funny. But it looks like just not interesting to me. I like, man, it's like the visual style of here is pretty good. I hope it's a good game. Oh, it's well animated too. These are always I think this is more a genre that I'm just into. Of like, oh, it feels good to move around and just drawing a line through these areas. So I will actually try that one out. 9 user reviews. So you're seeing, like, I'm showing you, like, even just so far, it's like these are good looking games that are fun to look fun. But yeah, you've never heard of it. Like, they didn't have a budget. Should keep that up. And then it's just down here with all this other crap. It's like you're trying to land rocket boosters, looks like. That's a good concept for a game. Well, for a part of a game. If you want to land rockets, like booster rockets, that'd be good. And here, another puzzle game. You can just, like, basically just, like, those are, like, free experience. You just click past those. It's like, oh, I thought it was a real game, but no. It was a puzzle game. Be interesting to do like a big open world, like adventure across space game using this kind of using this format, like top-down space kind of game. If you just did this, but you made it like a big adventure. This is gonna be bad. It's these fucking anime games. He's like, this started in the PS2 era. But there's just this thing that's this horrible trend that's just, let's make big open spaces and that are just complete flat ground. And let's not, like, make it interesting to look at at all. It's like Dark Souls and Soulsborne games got away from that. But it's such a cliche of, like, just, and it's the worst is when you see it in, like, AAA games. When it's just, there's nothing here. It's this big flat area that you have to walk across, and it's like so boring and to look at. And move across.
The narrator is back, babe. Oh god, that was bringer. I'm the fucking universe.
I don't like these habanero peanuts. They're not very good. I'm not used to Mexican junk food. Like it's not a. I'm used to things being sweet and sour, not savory. I like Mexican food, just not but like Mexican junk food just is like, it's on the wrong spectrum for me. Yeah, during a cryptocurrency boom, that lasted like half a year. Now we're just seeing it catch more and more suckers. That's interesting. Build your own MMO. Interesting concept. Never got into any tycoon games. I just played Stronghold and Black and White 2. Another strategy, another like city building games. I always liked those. But tycoon games, just never got into them. This is actually an interesting like look and everything for this, but it's like just enough effort that it kind of looks cool. But yeah. The fuck is this? Team up with a friend as a skilled wooden critter in this horde-based tower defense indie game. I've never seen a tower defense game that's just that's like this. That's an interesting kind of take on it. Like you're kind of creating your stuff and putting it all around. That's actually a really interesting idea. This person should take this and like make a more developed game with it. Problem with games like this is like I always feel like you just gotta pick one that's like the best version of it, and you play that. And that game is Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. Just kidding. Love's I've learned, you're singing this. Cool concept, but it's like there's a thing about this thing I'm doing where I'm going through all these trailers. We can't really. It's not really good for strategy games, like real-time strategy games especially. Like you can't tell if a strategy game is good unless you play it for like a couple hours, and it's like that's just not gonna work with this format. Like I can find interesting mechanics, I can find stuff that has a really good game feel, but when it's like certain genres just don't like read correctly. But we're still finding you some games. be weird if I find like the next Lethal Company, or what's that new one where you play as YouTubers, but it's Lethal Company, but you're as YouTubers. It'd be funny if I found the next one by doing this. This looks like a fun. This looks like a toy game. Like you just kind of play with it. Yep, and that was all the games. Where were we? Oh yeah, we were down here. So yeah, we got through 3 days worth of games today. It's like a Nintendo Direct if we just cut out all the bullshit. We got through about like 40 games. So we got so now here we are, and here if you want to play a Super Bounce Ball, this looks interesting. Like if you're into that, if you want something that like looks like it plays really nicely. Xeno Invaders, which is just Space Invaders, but it has graphics. Yeah, if you're interested in that, go for it. And the game I'm interested in is Express Through, because it's nice and simple and looks like it's pleasant. I'll just let the trailer play. That's the one wish list we got today, and yep. So that's the end of the stream. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And remember, if you ever want to just check out what the games I picked were, just skip to the end of the stream.